Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhaktivedanta. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhaktivedanta. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Jai Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada. Jai Vishwapad Paramhamsa Parijakacharya Stotra Shata Sri Śrīmad Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki. Jai Vishwapad Paramhamsa Parijakacharya Stotra Shata Sri Śrīmad Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada ki. Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki. Jai Grantaraj Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki. Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 3, Gajendra's Prayers of Surrender, verse, text 19. Yam dharma kamartha vimukti kama. Yam dharma kamartha vimukti kama. Bhajanta ishtam gatimapnuvanti. Bhajanta ishtam gatimapnuvanti. Kim cha shishoratyapi deham avyayam. Kim cha shishoratyapi deham avyayam. Karotu me yada pradayo vimokshanam. Karotu me yada pradayo vimokshanam. Yam dharma kama artha vimukti kama. Bhajanta ishtam gatimapnuvanti. Kim cha shishoratyapi deham avyayam. Karotu me yada pradayo vimokshanam. Yam dharma kama artha vimukti kama bhajanta istam gatimapnuvanti kim jashishoratyapi deham avyayam karotu meda pradayo vimokshanam. Nam dharma kama artha vimoksha kama Santistam gatimapnuvanti Kim rasi soratyapi deham avyayam Karotu meda prakayo vimokshanam. Mataji's. Yam dharma kama artha vimukti kama Bhajanta istam gatimapnuvanti Kim chasishoratyapi deham avyayam Karotu meda pradayo vimokshanam. Yam dharma kama artha vimukti kama bhajanta istam gatimapnuvanti kim chasishoratyapi deham avyayam karotu meda pradayo vimokshanam. What translation? Yam, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who? Dharma kama, artha vimukti kama. Persons who desire the four principles of religion, economic development, sense gratification, and salvation. Bhajanta, by worshipping. Ishtam, the objective. Gatim, destination. Apnuvanti, can achieve. Kim, what to speak of. Cha, also. Ashisha, other benedictions. Rati, he bestows. Api, even. Deham, a body. Avyayam, spiritual. Karotu, may he bestow benediction. May, unto me. Adabhradaya, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is unlimitedly merciful. Vimokshanam, liberation from the present danger and from the material world. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation. After worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, those who are interested in the four principles of religion, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation obtain from Him what they desire. What then is to be said of other benedictions? Indeed, sometimes the Lord gives a spiritual body to such ambitious worshippers. May that Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is unlimitedly merciful, bestow upon me the benediction of liberation from this present danger and from the materialistic way of life. Translate responsibly. After worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, those who are interested in the four principles of religion, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation, obtain from Him what they desire. What then is to be said of other benedictions? Indeed, sometimes the Lord gives a spiritual body to such ambitious worshippers. May that Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is unlimitedly merciful, bestow upon me the benediction of liberation from this present danger and from the materialistic way of life. Purport. Some men within this material world are akami, free from material desire. Some are ambitious to get more and more material profit, and some desire fulfillment in religious life, economic development, sense gratification, and finally liberation. Akama sarva kamo va moksha kama udaradi tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. It is recommended that whatever one's position, whether one demands no material profit, all material profit, or ultimately liberation, one should offer his obedient devotional service to the Lord. And one will get what he desires. Krishna is so kind. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tams tathaiva bhajamyaham. The Lord reciprocates. The Lord reciprocates. Whatever even an ordinary living entity wants, Krishna gives. Krishna is situated in everyone's heart, and he gives that which is desired by the living entity. Ishvara sarva bhutanam hridesya arjuna tishtati brahmayan sarva bhutani yantra rudhani mayaya. The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, O Arjuna, and is directing the wanderings of all living entities who are seated as on a machine made of the material energy. Bhagavad Gita 1861. The Lord gives everyone an opportunity to fulfill his ambitions. Even such a devotee as Dhruva Maharaj wanted the material benediction of a kingdom greater than that of his father. And although he received a spiritual body, he also got the kingdom, for the Supreme Personality of Godhead does not disappoint anyone who takes shelter of his lotus feet. Therefore, since Gajendra, king of elephants, had surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead to get free from the present danger and, indirectly, from the present danger of materialistic life, why should the Supreme Personality of Godhead not fulfill his desire? Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So we are continuing the prayers by Gajendra, and it's a very nice verse here, which is explaining how Gajendra is explaining how anyone can approach the Lord for whatever one has desire, whatever one desires for. So one can have, Gajendra is explaining any of the four principles of life, which is religion, economic development, sense gratification, liberation. And Prabhupada also expands on it, and he says, Akama sarva kamoma. One can have all the material desires, no material desire, or desire for liberation. So anyone can approach the Lord. And that's the modern times. We live in the times where, we go to one shop, and that one shop gives you everything. It's like a one-stop shop. We go to the supermarket, and it used to be the times. I've been to the shops, where the shops, you only get certain kind of clothes. And then if you want to buy anything else, you have to get other kind of shop. You only get one brand from one shop, etc., etc. But now you have this one shop which has all the brands. Your clothes, but then you also have the shoes, and then you also have the socks, and then you have all the kinds of needs that you might have. You go to Kohl's or Woolies, and you get your daily needs, but then you also got the medical and the hygiene and the cleaning, and you get everything from there. So you don't really have to go anywhere else, right? So that's called the one-stop shop. So Krishna is our one-stop shop. It's from one person that we get everything, and that we don't need to go and look for it anywhere else. So Krishna is saying that Gajendra is saying here, is that you can have all these desires. So we can be full of material desires, which can be quite often, many of us. Also Krishna speaks in the Bhagavad Gita, the 4 kinds of people who approach him. Chaturvida, Bhajante Mam. And of the 4 people who want material needs, who are distressed, etc. All these people, whatever they need, Krishna can provide all of them, whatever they need, right? And Krishna actually is happy and pleased with such people because after all they're at least approaching him. First, even though they have material desires, at least they're approaching Krishna, and that's good for them. And that's why Krishna is glorifying them, and he says that Udara, he says such persons are magnanimous, they're great souls because they're approaching me. But of course, of all the people who approach him, the best is the Jnani, the one who actually is in the knowledge. He understands that I'm the spirit soul, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that by connecting with him, that all the desires are met. So one who has this complete and perfect knowledge, then Krishna says that such person is actually the best, he's my favorite. But regardless, anyone who approaches me are still great souls. So these are the people who have material desires, but then also there are people who are no material desires. These are the people who are devotees. So Prabhupada explains in this purport to this verse in Akama Sarvakama in the 2nd canto, and Prabhupada explains that Akama, or the people who have no material desires, actually it's not possible to have no desires. No one can be free of any desires, but one can be free from the material desires. But one can still have the desire, but desire for spiritual life. And so Prabhupada gives the example, of course, the highest example of the gopis in Vrindavan, and they have no material desires actually. Their only desire is, how can I please Krishna? And that is the only desire. But they don't have any desire for their own selves. And so Prabhupada explains in the purport, if I remember it correctly, Prabhupada says that the devotee's only desire is that Krishna's desire is satisfied. And as long as Krishna is satisfied, then we are satisfied. So such desirelessness, or such desire is the desirelessness. That's akama. It's no material desires. And desire for liberation, which is the impersonalists. They desire liberation from material life, material entanglement. Sometimes even people of this world, they're so frustrated for material life. So many problems, so many anxieties. There's a financial problems, there's family problems, there's relationship, there's so many things that we need to worry about. And sometimes people just want liberation. They just want to be freed from all the material problems. And so Krishna says, yes, you have any of these desires, you can come to me, and your desire will be satisfied. So that's perfect. So then that way Krishna is being very enterprising. You know, he's able to provide everything. He's just come to me and I will give you whatever you need. The demigods cannot do that. Demigods have a very fixed portfolio. They have a fixed job description. You go to Ganesh, he will remove the obstacles, but that's what he does. That's his description, job description. And different other demigods, and they would have different roles that they play in the universal management affairs. But they won't be able to provide, they won't be able to say that, okay, come to me, I'll give you anything you want. Only one person can say that. And that's why we are able to approach Krishna. So for most people, for pious, materialistic people, they have some religious life in their day-to-day life. There's some, whether it's Hindu or Christian or Muslim or any other religions, and there's some kind of religiosity in their life of going to the religious centers to offer their respects, offer their prayers. Why do they do that? Is so they can continue their material enjoyment, right? So that's why there's four principles of material life. That is, religion is the first one, talking about the pious life, where people go to temple, church or mosque and they offer their respects to God. Generally so that they can have economic development, so they can have good material life. They can have a good job, they can have a good family, they can comfortable living, etc. So that is their main goal, and the religiosity is meant to provide them that. Such economic development is of course going to lead to the next stage, which is sense gratification. Now that I have money, now that I have a good family, now that I have a good career, etc., so now I can enjoy. Now I can travel wherever I want. Now I can buy whatever I want, and in that way I can expand my my paraphernalia for gratification. So in that way they seek enjoyment. And very few people who would come to this point that, that, okay, I've had everything, all the opportunities for enjoyment, but after having everything, I'm still not satisfied. I'm actually quite frustrated. My anxieties have increased with the more money or with a better whatever of material life. My anxieties increase and now I'm in more trouble. So therefore, such people seek liberation. That, okay, enough of this material lifestyle. Actually, I just want to get out of this. So such people, very few people, but because they're pious, because they've had some religious affinity and they might have had some kind of a spiritual association, so they seek out, okay, I'm done with this sense gratification, I just want liberation. So these are the 4 principles of material life. And Krishna is saying that you are in any of those phases, then you can still come to me and I will still provide for what you need. And Prabhupada here is giving a very nice example of Dhruva Maharaj. And we will read some things from Dhruva Maharaj here. And there is one very nice prayer actually, where Dhruva Maharaj says that because he approached the Lord for material benefit, and Lord did provide, but when Dhruva finally received the darshan, finally sight of the Lord, he was very satisfied, and at that point he says the series of verses of prayers. In one of the verses where he says that that persons who worship you simply for the sense gratification of this bag of skin are influenced by the illusory energy, just enjoyment of this body. He said, people who are worshipping you for such small thing, they're just illusioned. In spite of having you who are like a desire tree and are the cause of liberation from birth and death, foolish persons such as me desire benedictions from you for sense gratification, which is available even those in the hellish conditions. So Dhruva Maharaj is very honestly accepting that that actually you are a desire tree. Actually, so much can be had from you. But despite approaching you for so many benefits which are more than just the sense gratification, is that foolish people who are illusioned by this material energy, by Maya, they actually approach you, but then they ask for something so little. They ask for sense gratification. Prabhupada gives the example of if you approach a great person, a very rich person, a king or a prime minister or a big multimillionaire, and then you ask him, okay, I don't have enough money, so I just want like $10 to buy my meal, And that person could have actually given you a few $1,000 or maybe even a few $1 million, because he's a billionaire, and he can afford as much as you want. But instead of asking for something big, you ask for like $10. So can I just get $10? So such person is of course not very intelligent. And Dhruva Maharaj is saying here is that I was asking for a kingdom greater than my great-grandfather, which is the kingdom of the entire universe. But even that is so little in comparison to so much that you can actually offer me. And so he's saying that such foolish persons, they desire for such benedictions. And they don't understand that such pleasure is available even in the hellish conditions. These hellish conditions are lower species of life. The lower species of life, animal kingdom, they have all these pleasures available. They don't have to work extra hard for it. So, Dhruva Maharaj is of course not really seeking such kind of a benediction now that he has had the darshan of the Lord. So here in the translation, it continues, Gajendra continues, what then is to be said of other benedictions? Indeed, sometimes the Lord gives a spiritual body to such ambitious worshippers. So, His Krishna is so merciful that He is not only providing for any material need that you might have, but then He will also give something more. And so here are just a couple of nice verses here. After Dhruva Maharaj has offered his prayers, and then Krishna speaks to him. And it's very nice, actually, very beautiful verses. I was reading them and I really liked them, and I thought, okay, we can read it together. Or I can read it for you. So this is in the 4th canto. I think it's in the 9th chapter. It's in the 9th chapter. This is from the text 19. It says, the Lord said, Supreme Personality of Godhead said, my dear Dhruva, you have executed pious vows, and I also know the desire within your heart. Krishna already knows the desire in the heart. Although your desire is very ambitious and very difficult to fulfill, I shall favor you with its fulfillment. So now Krishna is saying, he said, okay, I shall award you the glowing planet, pole star, which will continue to exist even after the dissolution at the end of the millennium. At the end of Brahma's day, there's a backup, but polar star will stay there. No one has ever ruled this planet, which is surrounded by all the solar systems, planets and stars. And it will continue to exist even after the dissolution of all others. You will rule continuously the entire world for 36,000 years. And all your senses will continue to be as strong as they are now. You will never become old. So, Dhruva just wanted a kingdom. Krishna is giving the kingdom, which is the greatest possible. But then he's saying, now you will not only just get the kingdom, but you will rule for so long with strong body. Not just that. Continues further. Krishna says, you will be able to perform many great sacrifices and also give charities. Great charities. In this way, you will be able to enjoy the blessings of material happiness in this life, and at the time of your death, you will be able to remember me. So Krishna is already guaranteeing that you will get a perfect material situation to live in this world. And you can enjoy as much as you like, and don't worry, at the end of your life, you will still remember me. I guarantee this. Yeah. Then he continues further. After your material life in this body, you will go to my plane. And having gone there, you will never have to come back to this material world. So this is like the best insurance policy, the highest possible. You know, everything is confirmed for Dhruva. Because he approached the Lord and he performed devotional service and he pleased the Lord, even for something that was material. He desired something that was material. He wanted a kingdom greater than his great-grandfather. And he got the kingdom, but then he got so much more. So that's what Gajendra is glorifying here. Is that not only just material benediction, but you can give so much more, and you're actually giving even a spiritual body to the ambitious worshippers. So here is a classic example. Dhruva Maharaj and many others who received such spiritual body upon worshipping the Lord, and upon receiving their material desires, they received the spiritual body. So then Gajendra continues, may that Lord bestow upon me the benediction of liberation from this present danger. So, Gajendra is now getting to his situation. He's being honest. He said, "Not right now, I'm stuck in this material situation. And at this point, I will not be able to practice devotional life properly. So please free me from this danger. Help me get out of this." And at the same time, he continues, from the materialistic way of life. So he's not just asking for freedom from this current situation, but free me from this whole materialistic way of life. Yeah? Actually, if we actually think about it, who will really ask this, right? The only devotee will ask something like this, to free from materialistic way of life. Actually, for those who are generally, like those who have read the Bhagavad Gita and those who understand the philosophy of Krishna consciousness, those who are fully practicing devotees, they can ask for something like this. But for others, it's like, just make my material life comfortable, nice, happy. We'll deal with what comes after this life, but right now let's just have a good time. And so that's what their prayers are for. But here, Gajendra is asking to free him from the materialistic way of life. And actually, that's interesting because what really entangles us is that materialistic mindset, not so much the materialistic lifestyle. Because material life, many of us have to go for work, have to maintain the family, have many other responsibilities and duties in this world. But that's fine, because back in our head we know that this is not going to be forever, that this is not where real happiness is. The devotees know that, okay, my real happiness is when I can come to temple and chant with the devotees, participate in the kirtan, have prasadam. That's where the real happiness is. But then there is a problem, the real entanglement, which is the entanglement of materialistic mindset, of materialistic consciousness. And so Gajendra is asking here, he's seeking Lord's blessings so he can be freed from such a mindset, from such a lifestyle. Because if we see with that mindset, we are spending so much time and our effort to make our material life very comfortable, make our situations perfect. So we are always adjusting. Have the bed that is just soft, not too hard, not too soft, so we can sleep nicely. The temperature has to be not too cold, not too hot, so we have to have the right heater settings. We have to have the right kind of food. It has to be cooked fully, not too much, not too little, temperature not too hot. No. So we are always so much concerned about our material life, and we have to put so much of our time and effort in it to make everything perfect so we can have somewhat of a good time. So this takes and wastes a lot of time. And so therefore devotees, we pray to be freed from such kind of a materialistic mindset or consciousness. And how we do that is by the association of devotees. And that's what Dhruva Maharaj is praying actually after having the darshan of the Lord. And he says that, actually, no, now I don't want. He said, I changed my mind. He said, I asked you for the kingdom and I asked you, I wanted a material lifestyle, name and fame and everything. He said, now I changed my mind. I don't want any of that. I just want the association of devotees. Because in that association of devotees, then I'll come to a state of uncontaminated, I'll come to an uncontaminated state of life. So, he's hoping, that's what he's hoping for. He said, now I don't want. He said, what I really want is association of devotees. It's because in the association of devotees, everything will come. Purified consciousness, all the spiritual practices, everything comes in the association of devotees. So therefore, the one thing that as devotees we always desire is the association of devotees. Because everything comes in that. And there's this one nice point that the Acharyas explains is that there's one nice verse from the Bhagavatam, from the 5th canto. We'll discuss that and then we'll finish. This is the 5th canto, 19th chapter, where it says that the Lord certainly gives desired objects to devotees who request them, but He does not give in such a way that the devotee will ask again after finishing his enjoyment. So, in other words, we have certain desire and we pray to the Lord, we pray to Krishna to give us, satisfy us our material desires. But Krishna is so expert that He reciprocates with such prayer in such a way so that we will never ask again for such kind of a material benediction after finishing the enjoyment. He gives His lotus feet, which include all the desirables, to those worshippers who do not desire them. So, those materialistic devotees, they might just desire for some material benefits, and that's all. Krishna will give that, but then He will give something more. And what is that? He gives His lotus feet. He actually gives His devotional service, even though the devotee did not desire for it. Lord gives because He knows what is actually good for us. So here in the case of Dhruva Maharaj and here in case of Gajendra, also we're seeing that Lord is going to protect them from the material situation, but it's actually going to offer them opportunity for devotional service, which is the highest. So we are thankful to all the association of devotees that in their association that we are engaged in this devotional service, and we hope that we can come to a similar consciousness as Gajendra at one point. So we'll finish that with that. Thank you very much. Any questions or comments or corrections? Okay, so just to repeat your question, you're saying that when we desire, when we praying to the Lord, Lord is going to provide for what we desire, what we deserve, or what we need. Actually, all of them. All of them. Krishna provides for our desires, but the last verse that we read, and I really like that verse, because Krishna is saying that I will provide, but in a way so that you are fully satisfied and that you don't have to ask for it again. But at the same time, sometimes we ask for things that are not good for us, and so then Krishna is like a father, and he's a very responsible father, and so he knows exactly what to give and at what time. So sometimes He might give us what we want, but He might just delay it a little bit. So until the time when we're actually ready for it. So sometimes we don't receive what we desired for. That is also a blessing, because that just means that Krishna wants us to wait. Krishna is teaching us something through that. And in due course, Krishna will provide what we actually need, what is actually good for our spiritual life, and what will actually help us go closer to Him. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much. Granth Raj Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai.